Well, hello and welcome back to another Clizzard video. Today I just want to make a quick video. You know, when I say quick, it's probably gonna be like 20 minutes long. About just card sleeves. I got some of my Ultra Pro card sleeves in today, and I just want to talk about the sleeves that I use. Yeah, just to start off with, I've been using these Eclipse Ultra Pro sleeves, specifically the Eclipse series with the matte finish. And this is mainly for Pokemon. For other card games, it's a little bit different. But what got me started? So I've been trying to get back into Pokemon, right? And you know, I made up a deck, and I didn't really think much about sleeves. And I had a bunch of these, Roaring Skies Elite Trainer Box sleeves laying around, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna use these. These aren't used, by the way. And like sometimes you might be getting into card games, and you might be walking around picking up, a Roaring Skies Elite Trainer Box, and it comes with like a pack of sleeves. Yeah, these sleeves are from 2015. So these are my original sleeves, but I had a bunch of used Elite Trainer Box sleeves, and I decided to use these. And the problem with using old sleeves, especially old in the sense that they've been used for a while, but also old in just old age, is that they are not really good. Especially these Pokemon sleeves from the Elite Trainer Box. As you see here, this Reverse Hollow Call of Legends Leafeon wasn't used in the deck. But like, as you see here, just ignore the conditions on my fingers. You see how peely that is? So like, I was shuffling through this deck, and the sleeves were literally falling apart on me. They were like peeling, and it was awful. And so that's the problem with using like old sleeves. So you have old sleeves in the sense that they've been used a while back, or they're just literally old, then you might want to get them replaced, right? And so I looked online at what were some good sleeves, and people were talking about a few different types, mainly Dragon Sleeve or Dragon Shield. I think a lot of people would recommend Dragon. I don't have a box of Dragon Shields on me right now. But like, and then also Katana, so Ultimate Guard Katanas. And so people were recommending those, but also some people were talking about the Eclipses in the conversation. And I decided to go with the Eclipses, and I've been pretty happy since. The reason why these sleeves, I like them over Dragon Shield, I'm kind of used to Dragon Shield in the sense that I've seen what they look like. And the thing about Dragon Shields here, I'll kind of have to show you here with my One Piece deck that I never used. But these are some Dragon sleeves right here. And they feel pretty good. Like these sleeves haven't really been used a lot. They're pretty new. They're still yet to be broken in. You can just see by how the cards sit on my hand is how they kind of how they they're kind of new. But the thing that you notice about these Dragon sleeves or these Dragon Shield sleeves, that there's a lot of space from the top of the card, or from the top of the sleeve to the card. And what that does is that there's a good amount of like protection within the card. So like, if I just touch the top of this card here, it's less likely for the top of the card to be damaged. But I personally don't like that extra gap on the top of the card. Dragon sleeves, their sleeves just like a big gap. And these are One Piece cards, by the way. One Piece cards are a lot thicker than like Pokemon cards. And so like these are a thick card stock, and you can see kind of how the gap is there. But in terms of how they feel and the quality, again, I haven't used much Dragon Shield, but from what I've seen, like the quality seems good, the shuffling feels good, but again, that gap is not something I am super like excited about. And so when we go on to these like Eclipse Ultra Pros, so this is the Pokemon deck I've been using. I set aside some cards here. We'll talk about those cards in a minute. But you can see here, like, yeah, just how the cards sit. You can see, like, okay, these have seen use. And then if we just look at the cards themselves, you can see there's not a lot of gap. Like, there's very, very minimal gap. And so, in some cases, this might even be like, depending on how the cards are sitting in the sleeve, that's like as much gap as you can get here on this Nacli. But so it's a little bit of a smaller gap, but I just personally like that better. I just like how the cards look, and the cards are going to be a little bit, or the sleeves are going to be a little bit smaller, which might not be terribly noticeable, but like it's noticeable enough to me. And so I like just how the cards sit in the sleeves. And honestly, it doesn't feel too bad. Like, these are pretty used, and so you can see the shuffling isn't the greatest. Honestly, this doesn't really feel good at all, but it's like good enough, right? And so I like that about these sleeves. But there are a few downsides. Of course, with all sleeves, you can see how if you shuffle a lot, you're gonna get bent corners. You can see that bent corner pretty well there, right? And it just, yeah, the sleeves aren't the highest quality. You might get some bent corners like this. There is also another issue with spots. So if you see here, right, you can see that spot, right? I noticed that with these Ultra Pro Eclipse sleeves, you get a lot of spots like these, which you can feel. Like, I can feel that if I glaze my hand through it. Some of the spots, like this one, is very small, but some of them are very big and very noticeable. Like, I have some sleeves that are literally unusable because that spot is super big, and it could appear on the front of the cards too. So like, that's probably the worst thing about these Eclipse sleeves, is that the spots are pretty bad. And then at the end, they're just like any sleeves, they get dirty. Now, I didn't notice how dirty my sleeves are until I took out this energy. But look at this. This is gonna be disgusting, guys. So this is an example of why you want new sleeves. Oh, look at this. Look at all that in the top too. Like, yeah, this is where the sleeves get dirty. It's at the bottom. I mean, some of this I can probably like wipe off with my finger, but some of that's in there. And you know, if you have cards, they're gonna get scratched up by these little dust particles. And the thing is, like, again, you're looking at the conditions on my hands. You know, the hands aren't in the best of conditions. So maybe, especially if you're like a very dry, flaky person. Like, when I mean flaky, I mean not in the sense that you like don't go through with plans, but flaky as in like you're dry and your skin cells flake off, or you have dandruff. Like, it could be a major problem. And just look at the center of the sleeve here. You can see that it's not really clean. It's pretty dirty. And so like, this is a type of sleeve. I don't know why I'm putting this card back into the sleeve, because I'm going to damage the card more. But yeah, that's kind of the problem. Or that's, in my opinion, another problem with these sleeves is because the top is so thin, a lot of dust can get through into the cards. I should probably leave that out. So you might notice that at the if you just look at the top here, you notice that there's a good amount of dust. Like on that, look at that swine up. Look at that swine up. Look at how much dust there is on that top of the card here. Or that's not a swine up. You can just tell how much dust there is on the top of these cards. And that's the problem with these Eclipse sleeves too. Not only is the little spots that sometimes appear on like the front or the back of the sleeves, but sometimes the sleeves get dirty. Like, I really like using these type of deck boxes. So these are the ones you can get from like Pokemon Center. You can get from like, you know, regionals, world championships. They have these type of deck boxes where you can like take out the sides and whatnot. But the problem with these deck boxes is that they're open, and so dust can get in them. And so because of that, I've been trying to use deck boxes like these, where it's like fully closed, like little dust can get in them. Unfortunately, these deck boxes aren't the most prettiest things, and they're not the easiest to get into. Like, this is a one-piece deck here. They're not the easiest to get into, but it's like, you know, trying to get my cards, and yeah, it's not the greatest. And then you can see, like, that was with a Pokemon. And Pokemon, like, again, the cardstock's a little bit thinner. When you go into like One Piece, where the cardstock is even thicker, you're gonna have even less room from the card and from, you know, the top of the card to the top of the sleeve. Like, there's even less room when it comes to One Piece cards. Like, you're basically touching the top of the cards. And so that's why, you know, Dragon sleeves or Dragon shields might be better in that sense. And so that's just kind of the drawback with these types of sleeve. And so, you know, I've named 2 drawbacks, but honestly, they don't shuffle as good as Dragon Shield as well. And so, like, what's the point of, why do I use these sleeves so much, and why did I just buy a bunch of them? Like, it's just, you know, I got more than just one of these packs. I got 4 more of these packs on top of the ones that I already had. Well, these sleeves are pretty cheap. Ultra Pro, on their website, they do a lot of sales. The first time I bought these, it was like LGBTQ Awareness Month, something like that. And they had a sale on a bunch of colorful stuff. So like their sleeves, their deck boxes, their binders, they had a lot of sales. And so I was able to pick up these sleeves. Usually these are being sold for $12 normally. Dragon Shields are around the same price, right? $12. But you can get them for a lot cheaper when they're on sale. And honestly, because I just, you know, the condition of the sleeves don't, or like, I don't really use the sleeves that often. It's like these sleeves are good enough for me, and they're cheap enough that like I can buy a bunch of them for a good amount of price. Right now, Ultra Pro, at the time recording this, Ultra Pro is doing like another sale. And so like a lot of their stuff is pretty cheap. And so that's the main reason why I bought these sleeves, because of the cheapness of them. They're not the best sleeves, for sure. I've had experience with katanas. These are Japanese size, and so, oops, they're Japanese size, so they're a little bit smaller. But in terms of how they feel in play, and you know, I have experienced some, you know, katanas that are, you know, standard size. But this is Ritual Beast. But like these sleeves, again, this deck I barely use, but these Katana sleeves feel really good. Also, I'm just, you know, I've played more Yu-Gi-Oh than I have Pokemon, and so I'm way more used to shuffling Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And yeah, I just like the smaller cards. These Katana sleeves feel amazing. 40 card decks, like this is perfect. And so, and they fan out pretty well too. I guess I didn't show a fan of Pokemon, but I can do that later. But let's see here. We got E-Telly. E-Telly's good start. Rampengu 2 E-Tellys. Is this once per turn? I forgot. But we have Rampengu. We have Effect Veil. It's not a bad hand, I don't think. But yeah, the Ultra Pros, or the Ultra Pros, I think they fan out pretty okay too. Where's my Ultra Pro deck? Oh, I put it in this deck box. I'm like, where? It's not in the other deck box. But yeah, these kind of, if I wanted like 7 cards here, like these don't fan out as bad, but they're pretty okay. And yes, just because I've been playing Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh for a while, I can tell how they fan out, and you know, it's not bad how they feel. But yeah, at the end of the day, you definitely want to go with, you know, Katanas, Dragon Shields, or Ultra Pros if you're like me and the cheapness of the sleeves is appealing to you. This is another project, but I'm gonna maybe talk about it another day. I'll have all these random cards and sleeves, but like you don't want to go, and I needed to buy sleeves in rush. But yeah, you don't want to buy like these Pokemon. These are Ultra Pro sleeves as well. I don't know where these are Ultra Pro sleeves, but like these sleeves feel pretty disgusting. They're like the ones you just buy at Walmart. They like stick to each other. You can see this is like sticking. Like that's kind of nasty. Wait, there's like empty sleeves behind here. What the heck? But yeah, these kind of stick, as you see here. Yeah, that feels nasty, guys. Don't use these sleeves. I think sleeves is a really big part of the card game. So you know, if you want someone to enjoy the card game, you better get them like good sleeves to use. But anyways, yeah, just a quick video. I say quick video. It's been like 13 minutes of what sleeves I use. So yeah, just Eclipses, but the Katanas are really good too. But yeah, and the Dragon Shields are the golden standard, but you guys probably wanted to hear something different, so I gave you something different here. Pretty good price. I like how small they are, but also they get really dirty. Like literally stuff in them pretty quickly, and there's some manufactured errors, which little like spots on them, which isn't the greatest. But yeah, quick video, but it wasn't really quick anyways. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. You're beautiful the way you are, and you know, I'll catch you in the next video where I'll talk about other random stuff. I don't know.